What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the OG family. Make sure y'all smash that like button. Subscribe to my channel only if you want to. But look, my beautiful people, we got this crazy little compilation today. You feel me? It's pertaining to a whole bunch of weird old people. You feel me? But weirdos are just perfectly fine in my life. You know what I'm saying? Because that makes life more interesting. But we gonna hop into this compilation. And let's get this video right here to like 2,000 likes. Let's get it started.
Hello everyone. Tell us honestly, do you think that the lives of people around you are all the same? Well, in a sense, this is true. We travel the same subway routes, order food from the same restaurants, and dream of similar things. However, each of us is unique, though some are slightly more different than others. Are you ready to learn the most exciting stories about people who've ignored public opinion and live by their own rules? Then watch the video to the end and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Let's get it on. Man with a giant lip. Evgeny Bolotov, who lives in Russian Perm, rarely goes out with an uncovered face. And not only because the temperature in this region is below zero for much of the year, he just got fed up
because his lip is exposed. What the fuck?
With ridicule and comments from other people. It's not surprising the guy's appearance gets the passers-by all worked up. In his hometown, and perhaps in the whole world, he might be the only one who looks like that. His face endured extreme body modifications, which he began to do since the age of 10. The most noticeable of them is a huge plate on the lower lip. Talking with such a thing in your mouth is not very comfortable, but Evgeny doesn't care.
Это в какой-то степени меня ограничивает, конечно, зато открывает мне многое другое.
In his own words, all his life he dreamed of being like a platypus. Seems like he's doing it pretty well. Yes, for Evgeny,
Out of all things in life, that's why I love this world, man. Out of all things in life, you just want to be a platypus. That's what's up, though. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to you, man. Shit. You like a dragon to me, but platypus, all right.
New piercing is a real art. Moreover, the artist makes each piece himself based on the current mood. Although in his homeland not everyone appreciates the image of the guy, many foreign beauty magazines write about him. And
he getting that bag.
Modeling agencies even invite him as a model.
Hey man, all them people hating on him, look, he getting the bag. Them runway people, I mean, come on man, stop playing with this dude. Get your money, man.
Really unsanitary. You can assume that all people are more or less the same when it comes to everyday life, until you start sharing a room with someone. Believe us, the habits of another person can be horrifying. We all have different ideas about cleanliness, laundry, personal boundaries and comfort, and this woman clearly stands out from the rest. Cornelia from the UK lives in a posh old mansion. It's about 400 years old, and it looks more like some kind of monarch's residence.
Did y'all see her face? Her face looked like it had a bunch of doo-doo smeared on it. That's crazy. You can tell she don't wash up.
This is where the similarities end. As soon as the doors to the house open, the guests get shocked. You need to be a very patient and well-mannered person not to
look her hands.
Your nose because of this stench. The thing is that Cornelia has been living here for almost 30 years, and she's never done any cleaning. She simply refuses to use cleaning products or any household chemicals at all. The only thing she uses is an outlandish polish that the woman...
Look at her fingers! Her fingers! Her fingers, her fingers, her fingers. That shit is gross. What if you went through a drive-thru and somebody goddamn handed you your food with some fingers that look like that? I would sue the hell out y'all. Like, y'all out here serving this shit? That's like that person off, what's that scary movie? He was like, let me get it with my good hand. That's what she got, the good hand.
Makes herself and water with a sponge. As you can imagine, cleaning like that would not destroy bacteria. But why would an adequate person live like that? Well, according to Cornelia, this is a necessary measure to preserve the historical value of her home. The woman believes that modern means would simply ruin her precious furniture and antique finishes. The smell of perfume simply terrifies her as well. Needless to say, the shower and bathtub simply don't work here. Living alone.
That's why she ain't got no man, cause I know them sugar walls right there are maxed out with bacteria.
Life of character. Sometimes the love for characters from comic books and movies can turn into a real obsession. People begin to buy up all the merch dedicated to their favourite character, cosplay them, and study the entire history of their creation. Though it's a different thing when a person becomes their favourite character in the literal sense of the word. Yep, things like that can happen too. Here's a good example for you. Lawrence Sullivan from Miami, USA. Can you spot 5 differences between him and the DC Joker? Tattoos, hair colour, even facial expressions. Seems like a carbon copy of the main antagonist of the Suicide Squad.
Yo.
The only thing missing is Harley Quinn at his side. Well, maybe the hair colour could have been greener, but the similarities between Lawrence and the famous supervillain don't stop there. He can also hardly be called a law-abiding citizen. He's regularly arrested for minor offences, although he's almost always immediately released afterwards. The thing is, this guy is much politer when dealing with police officers than his actual role model. Well, that's something at least. Zoo at home. In the outskirts of the Russian...
Hey, man, you gotta let some people be who they gonna be, G. Like, it ain't nothing. Hey, man, look, live your life. I'm with it.
Capital, there is one house everyone in the country was talking about a couple of years ago. Residents started to move out of the house en masse back then, but not because of a woeful state of the building or anything like that. The thing is, shortly before that, an unusual family had moved into the high-rise building. 2 adults, 4 children, and about 50 cats and dogs moved into a 4-room apartment, which would be shocking in and of itself, but the surprises didn't end there. No one was walking.
You see the roaches?
So flies, cockroaches, and other living creatures had gathered there in just a couple of months. Needless to say, the other residents were not happy. After the whole city and many people outside of it learned about the horrible apartment, authorities grew interested in the family. Only after the apartment owners got threatened with being deprived of their parental rights did they finally decide to make repairs and change their lifestyle. All the animals were eventually sent to a shelter. They'll probably feel better there.
That's crazy, bro. They need their ass. They couldn't have been in my building like that. I promise y'all would have came in there and look. I would just had to go to jail but they would have been up out my shit though, for real. You ain't gonna be in there with the damn roaches, these flies, and all these damn animals. And then your kids is in here have to live like that, bro. I don't like that. You can do what you want, but look, stuff like that. Come on, bro.
Addiction.
That's crazy.
We are used to making quick judgments
Absolutely
about
not.
people based on their looks.
Damn
do you think
roaches.
it's the right thing to do? Perhaps not.
I'm sorry, y'all. That shit got me pissed. It got me mad, yo. All them roaches and stuff in there. That's one thing. That's one of my top list, like, insects that I don't rock with. A roach. A roach.
Really? After all, it's unlikely that a person became horribly unprofessional because they dyed their hair a bright colour or got a bold tattoo. However, the case of Ekaterina Mayarova is special. She has not been a teenager for a long time, but she loves to express herself with the help of body modifications. So much so that the number of piercings on her face has already exceeded 100, and almost her entire body is covered in tattoos. At the same time, she makes a living working as a psychologist and business analyst. And in her spare...
A psychologist? Who the hell going... Let me know if somebody watching this video seeks her for psychology, you know, because that'd be, look, that's like having a doctor with a bunch of tattoos on their face. Like, it's just something about it that would turn me off about that. I wouldn't really trust it. But not to say that she's not good at what she does, but you know.
At the time, writes beautiful poems. Nobody really gets her in the small Russian city of Rybinsk, where she lives with her husband. At best, passers-by just stare at her, but most often they make some unflattering comments. But is it fair if the girl is happy and doesn't hurt anyone with her hobby? Good food for thought. Overwhelming fear.
Let her do what she gonna do.
We wonder if there are any people in the world who feel absolutely calm before a visit to the dentist. We could probably count them on the fingers of one hand. However, in some cases, the phobia of dentists is so strong that the person refuses to visit one for decades. That's what happened to Angie Barlow from the British city of Altrincham. She found an unusual way of dealing with her fear. Every time she lost another tooth, the woman simply glued it back in with super glue. That went on for 10 years. You probably already realised that it didn't end well. You see, there are many chemicals in superglue.
Do you see her damn mouth? Oh my gosh. It's like she got doodle under each. That is nasty. You gotta get it checked out, man. I got a tooth back here that just cracked. I'm about to go get it fixed.
And many of them are extremely toxic. So, due to long exposure to the dangerous substance, Angie lost 90% of the bones supporting her
Oh.
teeth. In the end, the woman still had to go to the dentist and this time stay in their office for a long time. The doctor inserted titanium screws and the lost teeth into her gums. Artificial teeth, of course.
Damn.
Living skeleton. Many people can't stand being the center of attention, and others, on the contrary, live for it. Sandro from Germany is one of the latter. For almost 20 years, he's been modifying his body in some mind-boggling ways. But the most shocking of those is, of
Hey, them screws at the top of his head look pretty damn cool to me.
course, his severed ears. The guy took this step to make his head look as much like a naked human skull as possible. If he thought that nothing could be creepier than that, then here's another detail for you. Sandro decided to keep the severed ears for himself, and now shows them to his guests the first chance he gets. Well, before you judge him, remember Van Gogh? After all creative people are crazy in their own way. Monster hair.
You said he got the ears in the jar, y'all. What was y'all thinking me? I invite y'all over, like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Whoop, 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 whoop. And then, like, what if I got like my balls snipped or something? I wanted to get what they call it, neutered for men. Like, I ain't want to be able to have kids no more. What if they just sever your whole testicles off, right? And I put them in a jar. And when y'all come over to visit, I'm like, hey, look, you know what I'm saying? I can't have kids no more. Or a girl that I'm dealing with, y'all can't have kids no more, and to show her my testicles in the jar. Wouldn't that should have. You just instantly leave. What would you do? Pretty sure you'd leave.
Have you ever thought about what would happen if you never cut your hair at all? Well, it all depends on the person. Of course, not everyone's hair will keep growing indefinitely. Most likely, at some point it will stop, but not necessarily. Some people, because of their own beliefs or strange habits, grow giant braids. However, after many years without care or getting haircuts, they're more likely to look like one thick dreadlock or a fat python, rather than Rapunzel's hair. Here's a good example.
Gross.
An elderly woman from Vietnam who's not cut her hair in almost 65 years. By the age of 83, her hair had turned into one huge 19-foot-long tangle. Why did the Asian woman condemn herself to such torment? It turns out that everything is exactly the opposite. At the age of 19, when she last cut her hair, she started to have terrible headaches. They began to pass only as the hair grew, and only if she didn't wash the hair. That's when the Vietnamese woman decided never to have her hair cut ever again. And according to her, it really helped. How her head didn't ache under the weight of so much hair, though, is still a mystery. By the way, there are a couple of men with mono dreads in India as well. This resident of Munga, for example, grew almost 2 meters of hair by the age of 55, and it seems that he's only getting started.
Damn.
Prophetic drawing. Have you ever seen street artists draw funny caricatures for a couple of bucks? Not everyone will be able to appreciate them, but some people are quite capable of laughing at themselves. However, this girl from the UK liked a caricature of herself many years ago, so much so that she firmly decided to become just like it. Today, Christina is already in her 30s, and she spent half of her life striving to look like the supposedly perfect image of herself that she once bought during a vacation in Ibiza. During this time, she's done dozens of plastic surgeries, lost almost 176 pounds, and spent over $260,000 on all of it. We wonder how the author of the caricature would feel if he saw a video about this girl.
That's crazy.
Heavy load.
That shit ain't right. She need to go talk to somebody, man. You want to look like that picture that you... Right, like, we got this place in North Carolina called Carowinds. I'm pretty sure they got them in Six Flags, too. The little things you walk up to and they draw you. You want to look like that, G? You waited your whole life just to be like, I want to look like this damn picture. That's crazy to me.
We all sometimes think that we could lose some weight. However, for some people, obesity becomes life-threatening. Just imagine, this guy called Paul Mason was once the biggest man on Earth. In his worst days, he weighed almost 1,000 pounds. Needless to say, it's simply not possible to go outside in such a condition. Everything changed though in 2010. Paul had been confined to a special chair bed for many years at that point already, and the Brit simply couldn't keep living like that. At some point, he decided to have gastric bypass surgery. Surgeons reduced the size of his stomach to the size of a chicken egg, and Paul's body began to gradually deflate like a balloon. As a result, he lost about 660 pounds and almost went below 200. However, after moving to the United States, pizza and French fries did their job. The man gained some weight once again. However, he definitely doesn't intend to go back to his former size. Doll World.
What are you gonna do about all that damn skin? What can they do about that? They can take that shit off, can't they? Like, look, man, you lost all that weight. You might as well go to the finish line. I'll finish it up, man, or just gain that weight back. Cause
did you know that the real Ken actually lives in tropical Brazil? Here he is, young Felipe.
And he look like a plum fool. I ain't gonna cap.
Adam, who lives on the coast of Sao Paulo and spends all of his strength and money on transforming into the legendary doll. Felipe spends a few hours a day like a regular waiter, but the rest of the time, he is the brilliant Barbie companion. Even his pose is exactly the same. The guy doesn't go out of character even during school classes or trips to the beach. However, unlike many other Ken lookalikes, Felipe has not yet had any plastic surgeries.
It looked like it.
Because those are very expensive, but also because he's not yet reached the age of majority. That's why he builds his entire image using exclusively makeup, costumes, and wigs. It takes him about 4 hours to transform each time. But Felipe's plan is to reduce this agony by having about 40 surgeries, like rhinoplasty and buccal fat removal. Do you think he'll regret it later? Well, there are a lot of living Kens around the world, and even more live Barbies. For example, Nanette Hammond from Ohio, who spent $500,000 on our transformation into a doll.
She spent $500,000 to fuck her face up like that. Okay.
That money went on operations, regular hair coloring, installing a solarium in her own home, and daily trips to the gym. Today, the woman is already in her late 50s, which means that she's been into plastic surgeries for over half of her life. She says that she doesn't plan to stop until she's at least 70. To complete the image, she even has as many as 3 pink cars. And just think about it for a moment. 6 kids. Well, Nanette's vitality is something to be envied, don't you think? Adult child. We all hated cleaning when we were kids, but then when we begin our independent lives, there's no getting away from it. Well, this woman doesn't think so. Madeline is far over 15 years old, and yet she's not cleaned her house even once. That's despite the fact that she suffers from bronchial asthma, which of course is only aggravated by dust. Only the birth of her grandson managed to convince the British woman to clean up in her house. At that moment, it became clear that bringing a child to such a home would definitely not work. So, Madeline decided to take part in a famous TV show and entrust the cleaning to professionals. But of course, she will have to clean up regularly. Otherwise, everything will go back to its previous state in a couple of years once again. Hold on a second.
Yeah, little baby shouldn't have dumped that on the floor. She gonna have a flashback. Oh, I want it to be dirty again. You feel me? Like, that's
crazy.
crazy.
Do you want to see some crazy stories from real life? Nothing dull, only action, only adventures, chases and fights, love confessions and sudden betrayals. Don't believe us? Well, follow the link and see for yourselves. Our animation channel Private Diary reveals the deepest secrets.
Oh, okay, they got another channel. I'm gonna go check that out. But look, let me know how y'all like this video right here. Which one was the most extreme for y'all? And you know what I'm saying? I feel like these people live the life that you want to live. Your body modifications, these are just jokes sometimes. Live the life you're gonna live unapologetically, because as far as we know, we have one. And you know, do what the hell you want to do at the end of the day, man. And like, subscribe to my channel and follow my social media. But I appreciate y'all making it to the end of this video, and I'll see y'all in the next video. And like I always say, spread love, because there's too much hate in this world. Love you guys. See you in the next video. And I'm out though. Fly.
She think I'm a flex on her when I roll up. From the toes up. When it comes to my drip, it's different. Get the bricks, flip it. When it comes to my wrist, wicked.